Any questions or any doubts? Can we continue with the new one? Okay. So fine. I think hardly few members. Anyways, not a problem. Fine. So today we are going to discuss about the continuous topic of the previous session, that is the data management. So where we have worked on the subsetting the data, right? So today,
Hi Krishna,
yes, Rahul.
today is the last class.
Not a last class. Actually, tomorrow I'm not available, so that's the reason I did I said not to schedule for tomorrow. It should
Oh,
not.
okay, okay.
I'm not sure whether it is a last or something. I just need to talk to
Act-
Uday.
oh, they've mentioned in the mail SAS conclusion, so I thought of asking.
Probably I'm not sure. I'm not available tomorrow, so that's the reason I said like I'll not be able to make it for tomorrow.
Are there any more topics left which will take few more sessions?
Might be, yes. There are few more topics which need to be covered.
Okay, okay, fine, fine.
Only after that we'll have a tableau.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
I'll talk to Uday. I'll just see how we can have the other sessions. Like probably we'll have the tableau next week or something, or tomorrow as we are not having the other topics to be covered in the next Saturday, then tableau on Sunday. Let's plan. I'll just talk to Uday regarding that. Okay. So fine. So this is the next topic called as in combining the data sets, a similar concept of SQL join kind of thing. Not very similar, but almost the concept of understanding the joining the table. Here we have something called as a combining the SAS data sets. So let's first understand how it works and what are the types of combining in the SAS, and then we'll work on with different examples and the new things that we'll see in this particular topic. Okay. So now, while we wanted to work with more number of data sets, we call it as a combining. So far we have done is only for one single data set. Now this is combining one or more data sets and working on them. So for doing that, we have two ways of combining the data. One we call it as a concatenation. The other one is called as a merging. So in the programming statement that we use to combine, that is to concatenate the data, we use a statement called set. So we have a prerequisite that when you are combining multiple data sets, the prerequisite here is all the variables from the different data sets should be the same. So you might have a question, if the variables are different, then what? We can even do that even if the variables are different, but as a prerequisite, if your variables are same, then you'll be able to combine all together. There is only the variable name is required and the data type should be same. Apart from that, it doesn't check with the data whether it is duplicated, non-duplicated, unique, or having any kind of a null values. It doesn't check with that any. So the prerequisite for concatenation is to have all your variable names in common. The next one, we call it as a merging. Here we use a programming statement of SAS called as a merge statement to combine one or more data sets. So here the prerequisites are like that. At least one variable should be in common, similar to a SQL like concept, that is a primary key and foreign key kind of thing. We can just have this here using the merge statement or merge concept. We can combine one or more data sets. Even with the concatenation also we can do one or more. Let's see how it works now. So consider these two data sets here, that is data set 1 and data set 2. If you see here, the variables are same. So while in the programmatic, when we are writing it, we write something like this: creating a new data set, copying the data from any libraries to the newer data set to be created. So set is a statement, you can specify the data sets. So here, as the variable names stand same, we get our variables as it is. So here, the data from the first data set, the data from the second data set, data from third data set, if any, will be coming up one below the other. So here, it doesn't check with the data. For example, you might have another value called 1 Tom 80 even in the other data set. The similar values will just come up bottom to this without checking the value is already existing or not. So it will just copy the data one below the other. That's it. That we call it as a concatenation. Okay, is it clear with the concatenation part? So next one is we have something called as a merging. So merging is like we have this with the by statement. As I already said you this in like the prerequisite for this is at least one variable should be in common. So while we are specifying this, merge dataset 1, dataset 2, dataset 3, any number of datasets. But as I specified the prerequisite that at least one variable should be in common. So what is that one variable which is common in all the datasets? That we have to specify it using a by statement. By and the variable name, which variable is common in all of them. So we are specifying it. You can observe the scenario that I have the dataset 1 and the dataset 2 here similarly. But if you observe, I have something SID is common, okay, but the rest of any other variables are different. So the first name, score from the first data set, the LNAM and marks from the second data set are copied, which means at least one variable should be same. That is enough for us. Now, if you observe that as we are making it with the ID, if the data is same, so SAS will look into the same value present in both the variables as a primary key, right? So then it will work as the single value looking into the data. It doesn't make any duplications. It will eliminate the duplications, if any. All that can be done from this place, right? So here the data checking would happen, whereas in the previous scenario, the data checking will not happen. It will just copy the data one below the other. That's it. That we call it as a merging and the concatenation. So if you have any other values, if it is missing, like let's assume there is something called John and value, let's say 45, and it is something like here. So if the data is not there, it will be printing it as a missing value, and whatever the values are present, it will be copying it. So leaving the values as null if the data is not present in the either of the data sets. So that way it works with the merging concept using a merge statement. Right? Is that clear? So simple and
Krishna,
yes.
one thing. I mean, SID is both 1 and 1. So why it is giving 1 and 2 while we are merging?
Where 1 and 2? The first one is
When you
only
merged.
one Tom 80 from the first data set, one Harry 90 from the second data set. So 2 is there should be some value. Let's say I call it as like here. I'll write it now. Let's say there is a data called 2 in the second one.
Okay, like that.
John and 45 here, but it is not there in the first data set. Now in this scenario, the 2 is taken. The values are not found in the data set 1, so it will be leaving it as an empty, that is a null value, and then it goes to the next values. John and 45 are printed as per the data.
Okay. Yes, fine.
Is it clear? No?
Yeah.
Right.
And is it like in the merging only one common variable should be there? Suppose two variables are there, then there will be problem, no? That is not
Why?
merging.
You're specifying by the variable name, right? So whatever the variable you are specifying, only based on that variable it will be taking it. Whether it could be 3, 4, 5, any number of variables are present, but still what variable is common that you are specifying it. It is up to you which variable you wanted to mention.
Actually, why I'm asking that, because suppose you have done now y variable.
Right.
By variable SID you have done, fine.
Right.
Okay, by variables SID you have done, and in the DS1 also F name is given, and
Right.
in the DS2 also F name is given, like S name, some Harry is there. So how it will take both in one line? So I was thinking in that direction.
If both of them are there in S name only, right? Let's say SID
F name, yeah, first
F
name.
name. Even in the DS2 also it will be taking the F name rather than L name or something, right?
Yeah. If F name is there, then how it will show in one
I'll
line?
show you. I'll show it to you. Let's see with one example.
Okay.
Right. So I hope this understanding is good. Let's see whatever the question you have, how it works. We'll try to work on with one example. So see here, first of all, let's understand how these and what are the new things that we are going to learn it. Like later on, we'll take with one more same kind of example. Let's see how it will overwrite or how it will be doing it. We'll see with one example. Okay, or else if you wanted to clarify it now, then only we'll create it here. So let's say data 1, I'll make it. I'll give the input SID, let's say S name, some score. One, let's say Tom, score is 100. To Harry. Okay, this scenario is right. So I'll make it data 3, merge 1, 2. Sorry.
I think it is not showing. No? Just run that one, James one.
Why that is not updated? Sorry. Right, Anita. That's what I did wrong. So what happened? Rule.
Just scroll up once, na. I mean, where Tom also should come, na. Tom is not coming by.
Because it got overwritten. It has executed for the
Okay,
first time with the one that as James has been
okay,
overwritten with the first one.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Now I got it. Means overwrite will happen if it is the same,
You're
right?
right. Because
Same variable.
last
Oh,
executed one will be coming up.
okay.
Okay.
ठीक है.
Right.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Hope this merge is clear now. Right. Okay. So we'll just run through the presentation, which we have few more new points to understand. So just now we learned about the combining. So here you can see the concatenation that we have done. So we just learned about a set statement. So already we have discussed that if you're sorry. So if you can see that our variable should be same. That is, like for example, SID with SID, SNAME with SNAME or something. If it is there, the variable should be the same. In spite of the variables names are different, then we have something else called as a rename dataset option. Okay. Rename is something called as a dataset option, which will be helpful for you to rename your variables. So please make a differentiation between the three things that we have learned earlier. That is, one is we call it as a system options. Using a proc options, we learn the different options of system. That is no date, no number, line size, page size, all that. So that is, we call it as a system options. The other one is the proc options, like no ops, NODS underscore, like hello, am I audible? Okay, fine. Like for me, it's shown the connection lost. Okay, so here, whenever we are using a rename statement, we can change the name of a variables. But earlier, as we discussed that, like a proc options is for the system options, and proc options like individual procedure, like label, split, NOOBS, NODS in the other procedures, like no dupe key, no dupe. All these are the different options we worked with the different procedures. So that we can say there are procedural options. Now these options are something different, which we have to work along with the data step. So that's the reason we call it as a data set options. So these are the three different types of options in SAS, which makes a little confusion. So we need to understand where and what type of options are useful. So syntactically, these options are specifically written in the data step, right? So that's the reason we call it as a data set options. And one other thing on this point is, in the previous example, we observed that whenever we used a concatenation, it will just copy all the data one below the other, just one below the other. It doesn't look into the data. It doesn't even check with the duplicated values. Neither we get the data set which gets created in a sorted order. So now making a combination of two statements like set and by statements will help you to create a new data set with the sorted order of a data. That is an ascending or descending or whatever we want, we can just do that. So that type of a sorted data set which gets created, we call it as an interleave. A newly created data set from the concatenation, then whichever is created should be in the sorted order, then we call it as an interleaving. So we use a statement called set and by for that. Okay, so here you can see that a syntax of concatenation data set name set so and so data sets. So just take a scenario that we have Jan, Feb, March. So when it is, when we are combining it, it gets combined and creates a new data set. The new data set will have all these three data sets printed one below the other. So let's take a scenario that, considering this one data set called NA1, the other data set called NA2. Please observe if the variables are same or different. Is all the variables different or same? We have name, gender, job code. First, if you remember about a PDB, in the previous session we discussed about the PDB, program data vector. The responsibility of that is to check with the variables from the data set. So here the name, gender, job code is same. Even it looks into the second data set and the variables are same. So it creates a descriptor portion, checking the variables from the different data sets. Now the data from the first is pulled to, so for the data from the first data set is pulled to the newer data set one after the other. After it gets executed, it goes to the second line, the third line, so on. It will be reading the data from first to second and second to all the new will be created.
Hi Krishna.
Yes, yes.
In bit your voice got broken. I couldn't hear like for last few minutes when you started this slide.
Okay.
Can you
See here,
speak again? Okay.
I'm going just back. Is my voice clear now?
Yeah, now I can hear. In
Right.
between,
So
it got broken.
have you observed this one, like the two data sets with the common variables in both? Right.
Yes.
So when it is
Yeah.
happening, when it is executed at a backend, there is something called as a PDV. PDV stands for Program Data Vector, which is responsible for checking the variables that we discussed in the last class. Right. So here, from the both the data sets, the variables are same. So it is able to check with them and create a descriptor portion. That is nothing but a new data set with the variables got created. So from here, all the data from the first data set is copied to the newly created data set, row by row, whatever all the number of rows are present. So if the first data set is complete, then it goes to the second data set. Then after all the data from that is coming up to the next one. Okay, so this will happen until the end of all the both the data sets and create a new data set. Right? So that's how it works with the concatenation. Now see this scenario. We have the both the data sets. Is all the variables same or something different you finding here? Right? Anything, any variable which is not common. Gender also same, but we have the J code and job code something different. For us the data is same, but for the SAS the variables or names are different here. So how it will work? It will be working something like this, checking with the PDV, the first data set with the second data set, but it finds there is some new variable is found, something like this, J code and job code. So how it will work now? When considering it, this will be creating a data set like this. The J code separately and job code as separate. Right. So this is what not we are expecting because the data of FA1, FA2 remains the same. So we just wanted that to be created as same variable. So how we are able to do that? We are going to achieve it using the rename statement. We call it as a rename data set option. So as the variables are same, that is the J code and job code looks different, but the data is same. We just wanted that to be created as the same variable. So how we are able to do that? Using a set statement, the first variable with the second variable, and from the second data set, the FA2 now gets renamed from J code to job code. Right. So here the set statement will copy the data one below the other. Let's say for example, Manisha, you can observe that I have some, let's say I have a name called Kent. In the second data set also I have something called as a Kent, for example. Okay. The same type of a data. What will happen? Even this also will come. Already this is there in the first data set. Let me execute. Okay. So as you can observe here, I already have a Kent which is from the first data set. If I have a Kent in the second also, that will be coming up at the bottom. So which means it doesn't check into the data if it is having a repeated value or something. So that is nothing but a set statement. But when you do the merge statement here, merge will be done based on some kind of a unique primary and a foreign key kind of thing. So now let's say if I'm doing with some kind of a primary key here in this, for example, let's say I call 1, 2, 3 here. Here I have again 2, 3, 4 or 2, 4, 1, for example. So if this one and this one is matching, the Kent would be coming up only for the one time. It doesn't make created for two times. So that is what the merge will be working. Yes, set just copies the data one by the other. Merge will look into the data and just copy based on the unique key which it is having. That's it. Clear now? Right.
Krishna, you also said something about interleaving, na?
Right.
This is the slide you were talking.
This is now interleaving. I'm just discussing about it.
Okay, okay. Okay, okay, ठीक.
So now, as we have seen in the earlier examples that my data sets which got copied to the newer data set, that is a new data set any, it is not in a sorted order because I say my data sets are like this. So it will just copy one below the other. In spite if you have a sorted order of it, it will not do that. So what we are supposed to do, the newly creating data set, I wanted to make that into a sorted order. that we call it as an interleaving. So to do that, we have a prerequisite that your original data sets should be sorted first. So what you do, let's say there is a data set called Miami employee, Paris employee, and Rome employee. I have to sort the 3 data sets individually using a proc sort by a unique variable. So here in this example, the unique variable is ID. So when I want to do that, a newly created data set will be created in a sorted order. So I've just given it here by ID. So we are getting the ID as a unique identification, and the sorted order of the data set has been created. That's it. So that we call it as an interleaving. Interleaving, in the other words, we can say it is a sorted order. That's it. Right? Similarly, we can do that even for the character values also. So what will happen with the character? Each and every alphabetical comparison will be happened. So the prerequisite again is that you're supposed to do the proc sort, sorting the data of the variable.
Krishna, Krishna, in the previous slide, I have one question. Just
Yes,
you said like first we will use set and then by ID.
right.
I mean by is merging. So merging happens
No,
when
no,
there
no,
are
no,
two different
no,
data
no,
sets.
no. Merge and by statements are independent from set and by statements.
Okay.
Set and by are used for sorting the data, which we call it as an interleaving. Here, we are not
Okay.
telling SAS that you have to look into the common variable here. Here, the by statement is working as which variable that you are working is in a sorted order. Is that we are telling about this set and by statement. But if I use a merge statement, I'll tell that which variable is common in all these 3 different data sets. That we call it as a merge.
Merge, yes.
Okay. So there is
So
a small
that by is different from
yes,
this by.
set and by. Combining of the statements like set and by is different from merge and by.
Okay. Okay. And you said like in the interleaving, we
Uh,
use both concatenation and merging, right? Is that
no,
so?
no. Only for the interleaving we do that because we use a statement called set and by. When you say merge,
Oh,
automatically that will be merging the data, looking into the data. So there will
yes,
be a
yes,
chances of
yes.
no like duplications of data. Here it is a duplications of
Okay.
data are allowed. Okay.
Okay, means it's not a combination of concatenation merging. It is set and by you wanted to
Right.
say.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Quick.
So now, so see this, when we do it for the character values also, here the data are checked with the character data. So name is a variable where I can just check with which comes first. In the alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So Grant. After that, the first value is compared with the second with second, third with third. So based on the order of the data in the alphabetical order, it will do the interleaving. Right? Similarly, the merging now. So here in the merging, what we just discussed now, that is at least one variable should be in common from different data sets that you are considering. So I'm using now a statement with a combination called merge and by. Earlier was set and by statement. Now this is a merge and by statement. Okay. So see here. Hi Sneha.
Hi, Krishna. Sorry,
No problem. You missed one part.
I'll catch up in the recording soon. Sorry, I was stuck in office. So.
No, not a problem. But it was a small concept of similar like joins. So okay, so we have covered a little bit of part of it. Just checking with the examples. Like
Okay,
I'll explain with the examples. Try to see if you can able to understand, or else immediately after the class I'll share you the recording. Then you can even observe and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Right.
sure. Sorry for the.
No problem. Fine. So here the merge and by statement here help us to consider that which variable is common in the different data sets. So see here a scenario like we might have the data sets called cost, sales, goals, and taxes. We might have a number of variables in each of the data set, but certainly assuming one variable called month might be in common. For example, rule. Now you can see the difference here. Here I'm using the merge and by statement, assuming a month is common. It's in the costs also, it's in the sales, it's in the goals and something else. So month might be common. I might have a number of variables for each of this data set independently. So that makes a difference. We don't have anything else to check from that. Only one variable should be in common. That is generally checked by merge and by statement. That's it. Clear? So let's take a small scenario that I have a data set called performance and goals. So I have the month sale and month goal in the two data set. But as a prerequisite, I said you, at least one variable should be in common. Here the month variable is also common. Even if you see the data, I see a row called month 1 and 1. Even in the second data set also I have something called 1 and 2. So as the data matches over here, I can even perform some kind of a operations or expressions that can be built. For example, I wanted to find out the difference in between the sales and goals. I wanted to multiply with certain number of value. So I can do all that using this particular combination of merge and by merging the data. So let's see, the month is common, the sale from the first data set, the month from the second data set, and the goal from the second data set. And also, as the data is matching up, I'm going to create one more variable called difference, whatever the variable name, some sales minus goal, directly I can do the difference here. So let's see how it works. As the data set is getting created, it will now first check with the data from the both the data sets, one from the month and month. The data comes up here, sale value, goal. When it gets executed, it gives the difference. Similarly, the second with second, third with third, so on, until the end of all the data, it will be reading and completely getting up till the execution of the entire data sets, right? But if you observe, there is one point to understand that we have equal number of values in this. That is 1 to 3, 1 to 3, we were able to match up and get this kind of a result. But if there is a scenario that I might have some values which might not be present in either of the data sets, or there might be a value which are only few records of it, then how it will work, right? So then the scenario comes up something like this. Let's see with one more example. That, see here, okay. So you see here, I have two data sets called some German crew and German schedule. I have employee ID last name, employee ID flight number, right? So here in one of the data set I have only 4 rows, in the other data set I have only 3 rows. Obviously one is missing. So how would this work? While at the time of looking into the data, the merge and by statements here check with all the values from both the data sets. So whatever the common values in present in both of them will be created, something at the bottom like this. But the values which are missing is left as a blank, that is a null value is getting created. Something like this. So we were like, it will be like an null value present in it, in the data sets. So what we can do, writing up some kind of a conditions, if then statements, or even we have seen that like a no do key, eliminating the data, replacing the data by conditions, all that we can do using the other concept of condition statements, where replacing or deleting or eliminating this null values if it is any. So all that we can perform it based on the data, right? So this is how the merge will work onto the SAS. That is a merge and by statement, which is different from the set and by statements.
Krishna, hi Krishna. This merge by and this before that also set by, these two are different, okay?
Right.
And then concatenation merging, for that we are writing different code. That is different.
No. Only two concepts in this role: concatenation and merging. So what do you mean by concatenation? The concept of combining the data from multiple data sets where all the variables should be same is nothing but a concatenation. So for doing to combine one or more data sets with all the variables same in both the or in number of data sets it is. That is nothing but a
Krishna,
concat.
can you please repeat? Actually, your voice was
Okay.
not.
So
We could
what I
not
was
hear your
telling
voice
is
there.
that when we have the multiple data sets, right? In that multiple data sets, if the variables are same, then we are calling it as a concatenation. The programming statement used for doing this concept is a set statement, right?
Okay.
When we have the same kind of a thing, but at least one common variable, we are calling it as a merge statement. Only if one is enough. Rest of the other variables might not be same. In this example kind, employee ID. So then we are calling it as a merge concept. At least one variable should be same from different data sets. So what is the programming statement we are writing? We are writing a programming statement called merge and by statements to perform this. Similarly for the concatenation, we using only a set statement to combine one or more data sets. But as a new data set that is going to be created using a set, if it's to be in a sorted order, then we are making a statement called set and by together to create it as an interleaving sorted order. So we have only two things to do, nothing else. That is concatenation and merging. We don't have any different.
So set can work without by also if
No,
if
yes,
it is
set
not
is
in sorted
independent.
order, right?
It is not in a sorted order. It is an independent. That's it.
Okay, but
Okay.
merge cannot work
No,
without by
merge
because
cannot work with
common
by
should be
because there
there.
should be one common
Yeah,
variable which we need to specify. So merge and by is a mandatory one. Set and by is not a
mandatory. Yeah,
mandatory.
mandatory. Okay, that was
Okay.
my question. I was thinking that four things are there.
No, not
It's
four
like
things.
two
Only two
constants.
things. Only two things.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Is it clear?
Thanks, Krishna.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks, Krishna.
Krishna, this merge and merge command is similar to the joins in
Right. Same
SQL,
as it
right?
is. Yes, absolutely the same. Very much same.
Okay.
But there you perform
Okay.
something like an inner join, outer join. Here it is something
Yes.
overly on the completely data set. That's it. It works like an outer
Okay.
join concept.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyways, because of Rahul, again we discussed the same point. So now you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
No, okay, fine. So now, everyone aware of this cardinality relationships? What do you mean by cardinality? Anyone aware of it? One to one, one to many, many to one, many to many.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
Yes,
So the same way
yes.
here in the SAS also, this works with the different cardinalities, if any. So one to one, any scenario, anyone can tell me what is one to one, one to many, many to one? Any example? A simple example is our class now. Now I'm giving a explanation of some topic for almost like 5 people, one to many. So many to one. Let's say there are multiple trainers and multiple number of learners learning from here. That would be many to many, right? So why we are discussing this is this happens with any kind of a combining the data, even in other, even the SQL or anywhere, even the SAS works with the same. But here, when it is working, we don't have any change in the program. The programming remains the same. The mapping gets differed. So if you can observe this one, you can see I wanted to combine the first data set with the second one, XY and XZ. So you can see one values in the first data set and few more values in the second data set. While mapping, it is mapping multiple times with one to many, many to one, many to many as per the data. Right. So similarly, many to many. So I have many values in the first data set and many values in the second data set. It is just copying them all together like this. Right. Is it clear? So this is how this concept of concatenation and merging works. Right. So there is something else called as an in data set option. This is little bit confusing. We'll keep it aside. It's like not really very much useful, but not really too important as well. So we can just keep it aside, not to get deviated from what we are learning it. So this is one of the option we can say. As just now we learned about the rename, similarly we have something else called as a in dataset option. We can just keep it aside just as per the not to have any confusions on the previous topic, right?
Krishna, in one-to-one and many-to-many, I mean, what is the difference? No, I got what is one-to-one, what is many-to-many, but can you again show that mapping part, how it is done?
See, the first one here got mapped, the first one with the first one. Okay. Here the A2 is, or 1 here is second time repeated. Here I have 1 and again 1. So the same value is repeated. If I say here it is 1 again. So now the same mapping will be even done here itself. So that is nothing but many values with the many values of the other. Many to many.
No, I mean, is it like first will map with first, second will map with second?
Yes. Second will map with third, second will map with fourth, if it is any. Let's say where I have 1, 1, 1. Here I have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So first with second, third with so on. But the third is with the fourth, third is with the fifth. The last one would be repeated for the next 10 number of iterations if it is.
Okay.
So that's how the mapping is done in this SAS. So now the people who are from the SQL background working on specifically Oracle background or any kind of a SQL Server or Teradata, they have the mapping little bit in difference. If you're already aware of that, you will by default know the difference. If you're not aware of it, leave them. So just understand the way that these particular programming are working.
So Krishna, this is same for, like, this is many to many. One to many also will follow the same procedure, right?
The same thing, yes. The mapping is the same.
Okay. Same will, no? Okay.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Right, guys. So let's work on some examples to see this. I hope the merging is clear with this example. Whatever we have taken the first one, the merging is clear. So let me show you with one more example of set and by. So please observe the data sets first so that the examples are very simple to know. We have two data sets here called top and bottom. See, is all the variables are same or different? Which one you find is different in this? The variables. In the top data set we have, oh no rule, sorry, 1 second. In the previous,
I think you have shared something combining data sets and subsetting.
Same thing. Right, absolutely.
Okay,
please open them. You can please open them.
Okay,
parallelly we'll do it. Please open them. Right, in the last class I've shared you combining. Everyone can please open the same examples which I've shared in the last class, combining the data sets, copy to your my folders. You can able to see them and execute parallelly so that you'll have no questions, like you can understand them very easier. So Manisha given the answer, which is not common is age and balance are not common in both of them. Okay, right. So once you're done, please let me know. Copy your codes to your my folders and open it from the SAS. You can just try executing them and let me know for the questions. Okay, so see this, we have the data sets. That is, the question here is all the variables same or different is my question. So the basic thing for concatenation is all the variables should be same, but here the variables are different. That is, ID age status in the first data set, ID balance status in the second data set, which means not all variables are in common, right? So age and balance are the different. So how we are able to do that? when we are combining this data set, I'm using a set statement to combine the first and second, that is the top and bottom. So if I just execute, what will happen? Whatever the variables which are not in common will be printed separately. That's it. As you can even observe that I have the values here just got printed one below the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the first data set, 4 and 5 from the second data set, which is individual. Like even there is a repeated value, it is not looking into them. Now, if I take a similar scenario to make it with the merge, I'm just changing this.
Krishna, but why it is running? I mean, set is only for common variables, na? Here the variables are not common, so it should not work.
Why it should not work? As I said you, the variable should be common. In spite it is not common, also still it will work. That is creating one more variable individually. The values which are not found will be having a missing value. So let's take a scenario that if you have multiple n number of variables like this, and when it is getting concatenated, you have the null values present in all the rows. So that should be prerequisite that you should have the variables in common, then you will not have a problem of the data. Now, while combining, you cannot consider these are all as a null values not provided by the end user. This is created by the system, so which is not an acceptable because of the variables are not matching. So that's the reason we should have the values which are should be in common. That's it. That is the reason, or else it can do it. It doesn't have any problem for combining, even irrespective of the variables it is.
Okay. It will treat that as null.
Null, because the value is not found in the either of the data set, it is created as a null. But if your data is very huge, lot many columns are there, you will have huge number of null values coming up. Then if you are supposed to do the data cleansing, there a lot much of data is lost, instead the values are present with the other variables. So that is not a right way of doing it. So that's the reason we said there should be a common variable present in all the data sets.
Okay.
Got it? Is it clear now?
Yes.
All right. So now the second thing for doing the same kind of a data, but I'm using a merge and by statement. Here, at least one variable should be in common. So what will happen? The common variable is by ID. As you can observe now, the 4 and 5 which got in the second data set got clubbed together. Whereas in the set and by statement, in the set statement, it has got just created one below the other without looking into the values. That's it. Got it? The difference between the set statement and the merge and by statement, how it works. So there are two examples. So this is the same example which I've explained right now. Okay. So similarly for the rename also, in the presentation we have seen one data rename J code, job code. We have job code and the other one is J code. We are changing the variable name from J code to the job code. So the data is printed something like this. That we call it as a rename dataset option. So please observe the syntax. We are writing along with the set statement or merge statement. Then only we can call it as a dataset option. Specifically in the data step. Only in the data step we write all this. Right? Clear? Everyone on this? So you can open one more example called 2.1 SAS merge, that is set and merge statement like joins. So if someone wanted to perform similar to a concept of a join, even on the SAS also we can do it. Very much same, but I recommend you to work on these examples later on because I wanted them to identify the left join, right join. Here we don't use a keyword, instead with the programming itself, we'll make it with left join and right join. But we don't write a SQL query like select table from first, left join, right table, so on. We don't write like that. Okay, but I just recommend you to have this practice once you're thorough with the first one, not by directly doing into this joins concept of SQL here. Okay, the third one, that is the number 2, we call it as an interleaving. Interleaving is nothing but the sorted order. So I have some variable called project, where you can see this particular variable in the first data set got in a sorted order. Okay, now considering the second, there is one more data set called publications, where I have a variable called project, but if you observe, the datas are not in a sorted order. But I wanted to combine these two data sets called publications and also the first data set called what is that, research development. Now I wanted to combine these two on some unique identification. So what is that unique column we have is the project. So first of all, I'm supposed to sort them, and I'm writing a statement called set and by statements together. That is combining both the data sets of sorted order of the both the same data sets using a variable called project, and now I'm going to print it. So what will happen? Both the data sets now get combined using a project variable, and finally you can see the sorted order of the newly created data set, something like this. So this data set is now sorted on a variable that you have specified called project, which we generally call it as an interleaving. That is nothing but the sorted order of the data. That's it. Right? Is it clear, guys, so far?
Oh, Krishna, if we are seeing the common variable, it is not necessary that in both the data set it should be in the, I mean, like both should be in the first column or both should be in the second column. That
No,
doesn't matter, no?
that doesn't
Position?
matter. No. Position doesn't matter. That's the reason I've given this example where I have a project somewhere here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that
And
was,
that
I
is
was.
not in the sorted order. So it can be anywhere, any place. You're just giving a common variable. That's it. Nothing else.
Oh, but while we print, it will show in the first position, the
No, not
combined
required.
data.
No, not like
Not
that.
required.
Not required. It is printing here in the third one. You wanted to get it to the
Okay,
first one, then use a var statement, which will be coming up in the order of whatever you specify.
okay,
For
okay.
example, while printing, I wanted that variables to be printed in an order which I want. For example, var project, what are the other variables we have? Or I don't remember. Okay, manager, department, and so
On
on.
which we can change that. There is no
The
issues.
change of the order, we can do it. It'll just like
Okay,
whatever the order you wanted and what variables you wanted to print it, you can do that.
sure.
Okay,
Yes.
right. And one more point to observe in this is there is some other data set options and few other statements. So we have worked with one of the data set option called rename. So renaming is helpful for renaming the variable either in the data set, either of the data set or something. Similarly, set is a statement used for copying the data from SAS, right? I already have a data set within the SAS where I wanted to work on the data set without disturbing it. So I can just make a copy of the data set from one library to the other library. So set is a statement used for that. So how we are writing data, some data set name, set the existing data set of SAS. Now I have one more data set option called keep. Keep stands for keeping only the variables that I wanted to copy it from the first data set. So if you are familiar with the SQL, we have a statement called as a select. So as select statement itself, this is working in similar, but here we write a statement called keep. Okay, where I wanted to keep only the variables called name and age. Rest of the other variables which are present will not be coming up to the newer data set. So we have this data set option called keep. Vice versa of that is a drop. just leaving that name and age, the rest of all the other variables will be created to the new data set, that we call it as a drop data set option. Keep, drop, rename. We just worked so far.
This set is same as the
The same set.
concatenation one, or
Yes,
it is?
the same set. A very simple point role that, one second. I have already an existing data set of SAS. That is, let's say in the library called DSP23, I have one data set called, let's say, class. I wanted to make use out of it, but I don't want it to disturb this original one. So what I'm going to create, I'll create a data set with some name called sample set wherever the data set I have, let's say DSP23 dot class data set, and I'm just running it. So what will happen? Whatever the data from that is copied to the sample data set where I can make use of that existing one. That is nothing but a set statement. Okay, so now for example, in this, I have some other data set, DSP23. There is something called credit customer. So I've just copied as it is the entire data set from this. So here I have something called credit ID, customer ID, transaction number, country type. So while I'm copying it, I'll just make only few variables to be there. That is, keep customer ID only one. So I'll just keep this so that while copying the new data set, the previous, whatever the variables are there that are left, only this variable is there. That's it.
Krishna, actually, I got this concept. Just I was thinking that set is not, set is not used for concatenation here. It is getting used for copying.
Copy, that's it. But when you're copying it from multiple data sets, we are calling it as a concatenation. That's it. That is, you're using a set statement. That's it.
Okay.
As you're copying the
Right.
data sets from multiple data sets and multiple libraries, then you're doing it.
Okay. Okay. So here we are just, can you explain the process? Like the existing data set is there, we are copying it into another library, right?
Another library, that is a work library. So Manisha,
and the another,
you're asking, like, can we keep more than one variable, like keep equals to var1, var2, keep equals to the variable names just by space, not with the comma. Yes, you can keep as number of as variables that you want, you can keep it. Sorry, Roll, you're asking something?
and in the new data set where you are copying it in the library, so from multiple sources you are copying into the same, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. Take.
All right. So similarly,
Yes.
keep, drop, and where. If you remember earlier in the last class, we learned about a where statement where conditionally the data is printed. Here I'm using a where data set option, that is where condition I'm specifying. So now the new data set which is getting created is conditionally created now. So that is the reason we have some conditions specified, like where sex equals to male, which means only the male's data is copied conditionally, which means there is no other data. Whereas when you're writing a where statement in a proc step, your data set remains the same with all the males and females, but only the representation of males will be happen when you write a where statement. But here, your new data set is got created with a condition. That's, we call it as a where data set option written along with the data step. Clear? Right? So that is what we have this. Sorry, there is one more statement on this called update and modify. Right. So we have something else called as an update statement and a modify statement. Here, please observe the data set. I have some data set called master with the variables called account number, first name and last name, where I have the data called A, 1AB, 2AB, so on. Now, I wanted to update this data set called master with one more data set. Let's say there is one more data set of mine called as a transaction, where the same variables are there, but just I wanted the update values of first data set with the second one. That is 6 with X and Y, 8 with C and D, 9 with C and D, and so on. Now, while I'm specifying it, I'm using a statement called update the master with transaction by account number. So when we execute, the first data set gets updated with the values that are present in the second data set. That you can see here 6 X and Y, 8 with CD, and 9 got updated with the first data set which you have printed master now. So that we call it as an update statement. Okay, so this is one more statement which we can use it on the concatenation and merging for updating some kind of a data, right? Similarly, we have one more statement called modify. So please observe the variables we have in this new data set called stock, part number, department, in stock, record date, and price. So under the record date, we have certainly recorded date with number of different types of dates: 27 July 95, 20th June 95, so on. Now, I do not have one more data set. I just wanted to update this particular variable with something else. So what I'm going to do, I'm applying a format or a function called today, where I wanted to modify this data set. So modifying the data set using the variable with some kind of a function. So when you execute it, you have only one data set, but now it got modified with a variable called record date with today's date. So simply to say, update statement require one data set with one more data set, whereas modify doesn't require one more data set, which can be internally made, like internally updated with all the new records or any kind of a changes within one single data set. Is nothing but a modify statement. Okay. Update requires one data set with another, whereas modify doesn't require one data set with another data set. Simple. So these are the different statements we have under this concept of combining, concatenation, merging, and interleaving, and also these data set options. Right, guys? Is it clear with the concept? Any questions so far? If this is clear, we'll move to the next topic. No questions, right? Okay. Now we'll go to the next topic, which is very simple again. You guys are very familiar. Condition statements of SAS. So in SAS, we don't have multiple conditions. Let me share you the examples for it. Just give me a second. Just a minute. I'm sharing you the document so that you can even parallelly check with all the examples. Right. I've shared an email. Please see that. And you can even open that examples on your SAS from the My folders. Let me know once you open it. We can just discuss this topic. It's a very small and very simple on SAS. Please see that you have a quotes in them. Like rightly open them. SAS quotes. If then examples, you can open with examples. Has everyone opened? Example quotes. Okay, so fine. This is like one more condition statements of SAS called if and then. Can someone let me know what is the use of this if and then statements? Why we need it? If condition, then action. What do you mean by action? Any example so that this topic is simple to complete?
If and then we are comparing the values. If it is true, then we are getting the value. If it's false, then we are jumping to the other statement.
Then what is like then again doing it?
Sorry. If and then, yeah. If for example, we are comparing.
Let's take an example of age. Age. If age greater than 20, age greater than 30, age greater than 40, age greater than 50, age greater than 60. So these are the different conditions I have. What is the purpose of having a then?
In a data set, if you have different data sets, if age greater than 20, it's not there in the first data set, then we are jumping into the next data set.
Okay. What do you mean by taking this action? What do you mean by taking action? Something like that. What do we mean by that? Let's say, can I write a condition like this where age greater than 20? If age greater than 20, where age greater than 30, where if age greater than 30. I think in the last classes you have given some answer. I do remember difference between writing the if and then, if and where statements. I think you specified. What is the difference between writing the if and where statements? What is the difference in between these two?
Where we are like, we want an exact value for where, like
filtration. Let's say directly we are giving like any value whose age is greater than 20, just print me up. That's it. Nothing else to do.
Yes.
Right. where I wanted to conditionally check who are all having the age greater than 20. We are writing a if statement, if age greater than 20, right? So this is we understood and observed. So now I wanted to say that, let's say take a present scenario, the people who are greater than age 60 are eligible for COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
Right. But the people who are also having age greater than 45 with certain problems or health issues, they are also eligible for a COVID vaccine. So these are the two conditions. But now when I use the same statement with the where statement, where age greater than 45 and where age greater than 60, all the data will be printed to me using a where statement.
Yes.
But the problem is, I want to write a condition in such a way, if age greater than 60, everyone is eligible. And if age greater than 45 with certain health issues, only they are eligible. It is not like I am having a common flu and common fever or something, like they are not eligible. They should have a proper heart ailments or something, then only they are eligible. So what I'm doing, I'm writing a multiple if conditions, checking onto the data. Also, I wanted to specify an action over that these people are eligible, so that an action is something which I'm taking up, and I can observe that action is like a status is something I wanted to show that the people are eligible or not eligible. So let's say greater than 60, like I say it is, like I wanted to display something like an eligible. Right? I have some data age less than 30, so they are not eligible. Okay, but age greater than 45 with certain ailments, they are also eligible. But age greater than 45 with no not complications, then they are also not eligible. If this is a scenario, then what I'm going to do, I wanted to present this report to someone, only the people who are eligible and people who are non-eligible. That's it. So what is happening? Based on all my conditions, I'm performing certain action which is making someone to easily understand the data and take a decision over it, and also represent the entire number of values. So for that reason, we generally use them if and then statements.
Okay.
Right? Is it clear?
Yes.
Right. So if everyone has understood this concept,
Krishna, one thing, in the other programming languages, then we don't use if we use, suppose in Python or C, we just use if and then we get the results. So then, so this is not the case with this SAS. We need to mention then. I mean, if we write if age is less than 45, we will just print the results.
We are printing the result, but not with an action. What do you mean by an action here? Let's say the people who has an age greater than 60 are eligible, right? Now I wanted to send the list of the people to the hospital only for the people name who are eligible, so that they can check with that this patient is eligible or not, is what they wanted to check. They doesn't require the conditions what you specified as a programmer, or let's say whatever the conditions. They don't want all that. I wanted the person, let's say for example, Ruhul is a person who is having an eligibility for taking a vaccine. So the government guys, what they'll check the name called Ruhul, and also they are eligible or not. Even there is a person called Krishna, he might not be having an eligibility. If I go to them, they'll say you're said like you're not having an eligibility to take a COVID vaccine. So they're just only taking these particular considerations, but not your data. So what is that you're doing? You're giving a action over to the data specified by conditions. So in a Python, what you're doing, you're conditionally working on the data, but not providing any kind of an actions over them. Is nothing but this if and then statement. Multiple if statement, if then else you are using it, or if else using, but here we are using a then statement for making some kind of an action. That's it.
I mean, if we write, I mean, in other coding languages also, if we write that if this age is less than 45, print not eligible, right? Whatever languages we are using.
Right.
So here also, I mean, it is same only. Na? We'll okay, it is eligible. Or is it like in the tabular format we will get the thing? That is why we are
in the
telling them.
Format, and also that values are stored in the data set.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That is why then
values are not stored. It is just only printing it, print eligible.
Printing.
Okay. If you set report and send it to someone, the data that you say it is like eligible is not stored along with the data set in that. Here,
Yeah,
the data set will store that value completely as a variable because this is an action
okay.
taken upon the data.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's the difference.
That is why we are using then. Yeah, I
Then
got it.
statement.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Now tell me, can we write this if then the statements in the proc print, or should we write only in the data step? Where should we write this based on understanding? So out of our discussion, what we just made now, should we write this if and then statements in a data step or a proc step? Data step, because we cannot write it in the proc step because it is like a variable is getting created and the data is getting saved. Whereas in the proc step, there is no variable creation that can happen, and even it cannot have a capability to store any data because it is only for printing purpose. So the if then statements are specifically have to be written in the data step only. Right, guys? So clear. So hope everyone is good with the concept. Now we'll see the different types of writing the syntaxes on SAS. Very simple. So I'm just taking again the same data set called SAS help.class. I hope everyone remember that we have 19 records of the data, or else if you want me to print it, I'll just print once and show you, not to have any confusion. So SAS help.class is one data set which we are taking it, which consists of 5 variables in this: name, sex, age, height, and weight, with 19 records of data. Right? So now let me work on the same by copying using a set statement, and now I'm applying a condition called if age greater than 14, then a new variable that I'm going to create is called status. I just wanted to represent like age who are having more than 14 are considered to be adult. So if I just execute it, you see that entire data set gets printed along with the action that got performed and stored into the data set. So if we even go to the library, there is a sample data set in the work library which has this new variable created and stored with these values. That's the difference between writing it here in the SAS with the other languages. Got the difference, guys? Hope this is clear now. Why this if and then is little bit different from like working and everything is same, but how this gets executed in SAS and creates a variable is something different. Okay. Next one is whatever all the operators that we have learned in the previous session of comparison operator, logical operator, all the operators we can build up using this expression where we can create all that using this AND operator or operator, whatever the operators you have, you can use them. Okay. Next is OR operator, the similar examples for that. Either of the condition OR operator. Right. And the next one is, as we have seen, one action or one or more conditions with only one action. Okay. I wanted to create multiple actions also. Let's say I wanted to send one variable data to one department, another variable result to one more department, then I can create it with multiple actions to be performed on the data. So how is the statement I am supposed to write is if action, like if condition, then do. Do is a statement for writing multiple actions to be performed. So I'm just writing multiple actions here, like status equals to adult and remarks equals to good. And as we are writing a do loop, you are supposed to use an end statement for ending that. So if you just execute it, see now that gets with multiple actions generated upon one or more conditions also. So this is another way of writing the syntax called if then do statement. Okay. The next example is I'm writing multiple if statements. Can I write multiple if statements, or is it a good way of writing the programming with if and then only? Sorry, if and else only, or can we write even with the multiple if statements? What makes the difference in between these two? What makes the difference in between writing multiple if statements and writing if and else statement? Why?
I guess we can include different conditions. If and else are like only one if or else that.
Let's say take an
If
example of this data of age again. I have given all my possible conditions, like if age greater than 14, if age less than 14, age equals 14. I've given all the possible conditions. And what is the requirement of writing an else once again? Or is it a good way of writing like if condition, else condition, and else condition like that? Else if or elif or something, which is efficient?
generally we go for if and else condition.
The reason for that, any specific reason? Or just like making it more simpler and easier, that is the reason we write only the if and else? Okay, so when we write multiple if statements, already as we discussed in the previous session, that if statement will look after the condition from top to bottom, table scan, the entire table scan. So let's take a scenario that I'm writing one if condition, the data is checked from top to bottom. Let's assume one more condition right from top to bottom. Okay, again if you're writing one more condition top to bottom, so what is happening? It will keep on iterating. If the data is very
yes.
it is a time consuming, and also your lot many like memory gets down. Instead,
Yes.
if you're using an else statement, what will happen? Once the first condition is checked, it doesn't look into the second condition once again. So it will directly fall into the else block. So the efficiency, or let's say performance, will get increased when you're writing with the if then or if else statements. So that's the reason we generally use the if else statements rather than writing multiple if statements. That's the difference.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Any program is the same. That is the same concept for every programming. And that's it. That's it. If then else, if anything, elif, whatever you call, all the same. But in the Python you write it as an elif. In SAS we write else if, something like that. Okay. And the next one is we have a statement called delete. So conditionally you can delete it if you wanted to. So in the previous topic, we have seen that if there are no matching values, the SAS leaves the data as a null value. So conditionally, if I want to delete it, I can do that. If condition that if data is missing, then delete. So I can even delete based on the condition. The delete keyword is allowed here. So if condition, then delete. That's it. Okay. Clear? Next one. So replacing some value based on a condition. So I'm replacing this condition like if age less than, as we discussed earlier in the other topic called LT, less than or equals to, LE less than or equals LT less than. So we can even use the mnemonics. No, Manisha. In SAS, we don't have any kind of an indentations at all. You can write it as a free-handed writing. Nowhere the indentations are required in SAS. Okay. So you can see, like I'm writing like this. I'll keep it here. I'll keep it here. I'll keep it something. So it doesn't make any difference in here. No indentations in SAS programming. So freely formatted writing of examples. Any programming. Okay. So while writing conditions, one thing I liked here is of this freely writing, no indentation, no worries at all. So Python is indentation, so that is little bit confusing for the people who are learning for the first time. Okay. Here only the thing is semicolon is important, whereas in the Python semicolon doesn't require. Fine guys. So next one is, as SAS can even accept a SQL programming, SQL queries. So in the SQL, we don't have writing the if-then statements. In an SQL programming, we cannot write if-then. Instead, we can write a select when, case condition kind of thing, case operator. So here also the similar syntax is accepted. Select when, the condition, and whatever all the same statements that you have specified, like and then, you can use it all similarly using the select and when statement. Alternative way of writing the syntax rather than using if then. But the people mostly are familiar with if then condition statements, so you can perform that. But even the SAS will also accept the SQL way of writing select when. Okay. And one more last part of this particular point is, can we create multiple data sets from a one single data step? Probably not in generally, but when it is coming to the conditions, we can do that. That is, we can create multiple data sets from a single data set step. So here I'm going to create two data sets called males and females. If condition that if sex equals to male, then output to the males data set, or if it is female, output to the females data set, where I'm able to create multiple data sets based on a condition. So in generally, most of the interviewers will be asking, well, that will be possible to create multiple data sets from a single data step. Generally not, but while you're applying some kind of a condition statements, yes, we can create them all. Okay. So these are all the statements we have under the SAS programming. We don't have for loops at all, but we also have a do loop. We don't have a for loop concept at all in SAS. Only if then conditions and a do loop. So I think most of you might be very much known with the do loops, do group, do until, do while. Yes, hope everyone knows it. Do loop for doing a similar iteration or for a repetitive kind of a task to reduce the code and improve the performance, and mostly efficient for executing any kind of an arithmetic expressions, if any. So generally use with a do loop. So small example for this, you can see, I'm just creating some value, assigning a value for a variable, interest equals to 0.375, so total equals to 100, year incremented, first year, in the basic compound formula, total plus interest into total. Here, output is a new statement which will help you to display the result after every execution. If you don't give an output statement, the end result after all your iterations would be printed. Let's say you are executing for the 50th times, the once you are coming out of the loop, it will be showing only the result for the 50th time or 51st representation. But if you use an output statement, the result after every execution will be displayed after the first execution, the second, third, fourth, so on. So in this example, I'm going to execute the year plus one, that is the first year, second year, third year, let's say fourth year, fifth year, sixth year, so on. So what is happening? The code is getting increased, but I'm doing for a similar type of a task which gets repeated. And you can see the code is also lengthier, which got up to like 30 lines or 25 lines of code. But if I want to do it for more number of years, again the similar type of task is coming up. Instead, we can perform this doing a do loop with simple and very faster execution. So all the statements are the statements that we just learned now, similar. Now I'm just iterating my year to number of times. Do year equals to 1 to 50. Same formula, output to display the result, and end for every do loop that you're going to execute. So do has to be given with an end. So you can see I'm doing it for 50 years or any number of years. So that will get executed much faster than the traditional way of writing the programming. So that way we can use this do loop or do statement. Right? So you might be aware of other do group members, that is do while and do until. So until the condition is reached, let's take a small scenario that I've invested $100 I wanted to see how many years it is taking us to double the amount. So how will you find it? So simple compound interest calculation. We can even do that. Else, I can go with a simple statement of do until, perform the iterations until that condition is reached. Right. So I don't know how many years. So let's keep this to iterations as increment, year plus 1. The rest of other statements are same. But just if you just go through this, the condition is reached until it reaches greater than equals to 200. So it has taken 19 years to reach the total of 201, that is greater than equals to 200. So similarly, we can work with this do while do until statements as per the requirement. So these are all the conditional statements accepted in SAS. We don't have a for loop kind of thing in the SAS programming. Right, guys? Is that clear, everyone? So in this entirely, the data management, we have these three topics: subsetting, combining the data sets, that is concatenation and merging. And lastly, this is a small topic of conditions using if, then, else, if, and so on. Right, guys? Any questions so far? Is it clear? Right. Fine. So the topics for today are only up till this. Okay. As we got only 2 hours of session today, and I just need to check what else to be covered. There are a few more topics like SQL part which we need to cover on SAS. And I just need to see what else to be covered. There is one more thing called as a SAS stat, like performing all the statistical procedures onto the SAS. These two things are to be covered. So I'll just check with Uday how is like tomorrow I'm not available because of my unavailability.